1845, Zachary Levi.
Okay. So right as we're starting, because I was trying to figure out what irked me so much about this guy, because he was nothing but love and goodness. You know what I mean? So I should have no problem with this. Is what I think. You can't be famous. I mean, you can. So you're famous and then you're depressed and you go to the richest, fanciest,
detox,
whatever it was to make you better.
Yeah.
And then you become Shazam. Okay. So, and then you write a book about how love made you get back on track and all of this stuff. Okay. Like a normal person feels bad about themselves, can't go to a special place to make them feel better, and they never become Shazam. Reading your book isn't going to fucking help them. Reading your book didn't help you. A high-priced fucking place where they psychoanalyzed you for days on end helped you.
But
do you see what I'm getting at?
Hopefully his book is right, because my synopsis, if you ask me, an elevator speech for him, and he was a so successful actor. All he did was party and do coke. He got so fucked up, he thought he could open a movie studio in Austin, move there. His life fell apart. That was a catalyst from the getting help and getting Shazam. But he was fucked, obviously. He thought he was going to start a communion in a movie, and he's drinking and partying. I think that would have been way more interesting, how bad it got, because he's talking about self-talk and stuff like that now. He's very Whitney Cummings right out of the program.
All right, well, that's it.
Disagree?
No. Your turn.
I have nothing to say. I don't know. This guy and his God bullshit, lots of fucking God shit in here. You could tell that he clearly went to AANA and bought in,
I have no problem with the God stuff. I'm telling you,
We have a problem with an actor, right?
I have a problem with the phoniness of, listen, he's turning self-help into Hollywood, and it's just, I don't like it.
But he was acting like he was foreign to the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, when he
but then
clearly
he kept
listened
going,
to every...
Was it your episode? Was it your episode? Was it your episode? I believe it was your episode. He was quoting episodes back to Joe.
Not to mention, he was it's like Huberman. And he's like, do you know who I think one of the top 10 people who could restart a society would be? Jordan Peterson. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, really? The benzo addict? I agree. Let's chalk him.
He started with the Dalai Lama.
Sure.
I don't know what the fuck was going on.
He started with the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, okay.
And then Joe Me
right on track.
Sorry, and then Joe Me Too the Dalai Lama. So he was like, okay, maybe not the Dalai Lama. Maybe Jordan Peterson's our guy.
Basically, the Dalai Lama had a sense of humor, and everybody was like, whoa.
I think if he said Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, that would have made sense, a bit ironic, sort of funny.
Yeah,
right?
Okay, sure.
Because they sort of couch themselves out on this Jedi deciding council and all. He's Jimmy Boom Boom, but I mean, he's
Jordan Peterson is so petty. You could never have such a petty person on your fucking council of eight.
No, it was like, what?
Kumar, this is my thing.
I was waiting for the joke.
I was thinking about all the people, all the smart people in the JRE universe under that umbrella that he could have said. One of the Weinsteins, even Neil deGrasse. He could have picked a plethora of people better than Jordan Peterson to restart society.
Lex.
Thank you. Sure. A virgin.
On the younger level. He could have been controversial and gone Pressfield.
Which one was Pressfield?
Isn't he the one that says, I think it's getting better? It's getting better all the time?
No, that's Pinker.
I guarantee.
Pinker, Gladwell.
Oh, that's two. You just knocked two out of the park. Although Pinker was on Epstein's plane, so
I guarantee you, if Jordan Peterson is on that council of 8, no one is getting called they.
Yeah, it's going to be
in the new society.
That's the first rule. Yeah.
So that
we're taking it back.
Yeah, alleged transphobic man has got to be on the. What's disheartening for us is we haven't said one woman who we think could be on this council.
Oh, Hillary Clinton, obviously.
Fuck no, Tulsi.
No,
not Tulsi.
Tulsi.
You are anti-Klaus Schwab, and now you want one of his cronies right in there.
I don't think you could get that council together without someone handpicked by Klaus Schwab to be on it.
I just censored myself. I had a great joke, but I'm not going to do it.
Oprah.
But I just want you to
Oprah.
know that I had a great
I don't like
joke.
that, and the listeners don't like
That's
that.
not a good joke then. Oprah.
No.
Oh, jeez, you guys are real fucking women haters.
Greta Thunberg.
Who would hold on a second, because you're pretty quick on this. No to women. Who, if you have to put a woman on,
Hold on.
I know you
we
don't.
named 3,
I
and
know,
I said no.
I
to
know
them.
you don't want to put a woman on the council, but if you had to,
It should be half women.
can you tell me who it would be?
Caitlyn Jenner. What are we doing here?
oh my God!
Yep. He got it.
Oh man!
No, I don't know. There's definitely
Elliot Page.
There's
it is Elliot. You're fucking right on the ball, man.
there's
And
tons
Edward
of
Snowden. And Julian Assange. Boom.
No, there's no way I want either of those two
Oh no.
CIA agents on
Bill
the
Gates.
fucking team.
And Bill Gates. 'Cause
Bill
he-
Gates, yeah, for sure.
Hold on. Snowden left the most beautiful place on earth to wave a flag. And now he lives in Russia and can't ever leave.
What does that mean? He left the most beautiful place.
He
on
lived in
earth to
Hawaii.
wave a flag.
He lived in Hawaii. He was living in Hawaii when
Okay.
he blew the whistle.
Okay.
So he was literally living in paradise. Had it made in the shade. Didn't have to do what he did. You know that, right?
Okay. But what's your point?
Well, that's a pretty trustworthy person to have on the.
I-
You
in-
threw him out like he was
unless
dog
he-
water.
No, I don't want him on my council. Yes, I
Fair
threw him
enough.
out like dog water because there.
I'm
To
not
me,
saying he
it's not
has to
so
be on your
cut and
council.
dry. It's
Okay.
like
The key was no politicians. That's all I know. So actually, that negates Tulsi Gabbard.
what about Bernie?
And,
You want Bernie on the
no politicians.
No politicians. Period.
Oh, Quavo's got to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
One of the
Quavo
Migos?
is.
One of the Migos.
Yeah. At least one of the Migos. Oh,
We're restarting society. We need
and
hey,
Drake.
we need representation. What are we doing here? Quavo's there for sure. That's
No, I disagree.
Well, Kamara
I don't
agreed.
even know who that is.
okay, so he's in for you.
By
then.
that logic, put fucking Logan Paul in.
He's in the maybe category. We'll throw him in the
No, you
maybe.
see- You guys-
he's being groomed for it.
Not Jake, but maybe Logan.
So you know
Sean
what?
Evans, the guy
You
from
guys
Hot Ones,
probably-
he's in.
Yes, very good. Nardwar.
No,
Nardwar's in.
Nardwar's a- yeah,
Nardwar's
all
in for
gas,
sure.
no brakes
Nard-
guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Andrew's
yeah.
in.
He's in the junior council. There's a junior council. You get your senior.
Andrew's
And
on
if
the
we're
come up.
doing
And then-
and if
and
we're
they're on the
doing
come
this
up. So you're
imaginary
farm
terrible list, let's throw Gary V in there.
Yes.
Let's throw fucking.
You know, wait, hold on. You know
Andrew
what?
Tate.
You know what? On the,
Tate.
no women on this council now. That's for sure.
Oh, we gotta
Those
squeeze a
sissies are
couple in.
pussies either.
No, Matt.
Hold
no
on.
bitches on
Yeah.
this council.
Mr. Beast.
On the real, actual answer, Jon Stewart would be on the council.
Yeah, can we go back to the real list?
No, I was
'Cause
having a lot more fun with the fake list.
I'd like to know who you would put on. Like, first of all, we need a woman on the list. So get cracking. Who do you want on there? Michelle Obama?
No.
Nope, not Michelle.
Laird Hamilton's wife.
I like that. I'm with you. Yes, Kamar.
I don't like that. he
Laird
didn't say her name.
Hamilton's
Yeah, Laird
wife.
Hamilton's
I don't
wife is on
remember
there.
her name.
Gabby.
She's a,
Yeah.
Gabby
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, that's strong. She kept her own last name. It
She
wasn't
was
Hamilton.
a volleyball
Oh, yeah,
player.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Yes, I'm with her. I like
Yeah,
that.
she's
Kamar.
okay. So we have
I
one
don't know
woman.
why you thought of her, but you fucking nailed
Yeah,
it.
Rock
you
in a
nailed
hard
that
place,
one,
man.
yeah.
Rock
Okay.
in a hard
You
place.
nailed
So
it.
she's
well,
in.
that's enough women.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, it's 9 people, so you're not going to have it even anyway. So why bother?
Okay, it's
true.
Can't be
You
No,
can-
the 9th is the transitional person.
Brett Weinstein? No, Eric Weinstein can go on.
No.
Brett
They
Weinstein.
have to fight to the
cannot.
death to get
Oh,
on it.
good one. I like that. They have to fight.
strongest
yes,
survives
Yes.
gets on the
Yes.
council.
No,
come
can we
on.
just do like a Hunger Games thing? I
That-
don't know if I want to, because it's too quick watching them just fight to the death. I'd like to see them really
it's
struggle it out.
full Django, man.
Oh no!
Pass him the hammer.
No. I like what he's saying because Eric would like figure something out. I'm with you. Hunger Games.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
Hunger
yeah, yeah.
Games to see who can get in.
How do you feel about Tom Cruise?
Definitely not.
Oh,
But if you want to
consultants?
put the head of Scientology, I'm okay with that.
Miskovich?
Yeah, Miscavige. We haven't seen him in
Miscavige.
a long time. Eh?
No, it's
Have
his
you
wife.
noticed?
We haven't seen
No,
in a
no,
long time.
we haven't seen him. I haven't heard hide nor hair of Scientology in years.
Hide nor hair. Look at you.
Hide
fucking
nor
go.
hair. Yeah.
Wow. Simon's really getting 1920s on us today. Doesn't give a
Meghan
shit.
Merkel.
Meghan Merkel.
Who's the Saudi?
Monica Lewinsky.
Who's the
Yes.
Saudi
There's
prince?
another girl.
She's been through some
She
shit.
has been through
Not
shit.
a politician.
You know, who was it? Were they talking about Monica Lewinsky on Rogan this week?
No.
Okay, so I heard it somewhere and it was Scholes saying it. Are you sure?
He's been on a lot of shows lately.
Anyways, he was saying, you know, Monica Lewinsky, that's like they made her into the enemy, the bad guy, and she was the victim. That would never happen today.
Yep.
Very good point. And she denied the whole thing, Monica Lewinsky. And
She was a good bitch.
Hillary came at her with the dress with the cum on it, saying, "We got you with the cum."
No, it wasn't Hillary.
Yeah,
it was
the
Linda
woman
Tripp or
who
somebody.
who brought it
Kenneth
forward.
Starr.
Hillary kills people. She doesn't
Stop
out
it.
people.
You don't know.
You're
He
mixing
brought it
up.
forward.
Sound like Joan right now.
I sound like who?
Joe.
I wish we had a Jamie.
What do you think I am, dickhead?
Okay, Matt, could you please
Well,
look
that's
this
not
up?
happening.
Well, then we don't have a Jamie, do we?
Matt, could you please pull that up? I love when Big J does that. I think we have a clip here. Matt, you just want to throw to that. It never comes up.
Anyways, go on.
They
go
talked
on.
about thing we always talk about the frailty. Like once you step outside our world, the cities where nature doesn't care, and some people have this sort of idea that nature's going to be compassionate towards them. Right? The tourists that walk up to buffaloes get kicked off. Like
I don't. I guess I know what you mean. Most people, I guess,
probably
maybe.
because
Dumb
you
people.
grew up going to cottages and being in the outdoors and knowing you have to be prepared. Like even simple stuff.
I guess.
Like,
Some
don't
people
walk
city-
up on buffalo. I mean, that's
Well, no,
the
I
first
just-
thing they teach you in Cub Scouts.
I even Kamar, like now at my age, I'm like, I don't even go into the fucking. Mary and I went into the woods the other day, and I came out with fucking poison ivy and all sorts of fucking shit. Like,
Oh, you're getting cityfied. You're city.
I am, yeah, I'm a idiot, yeah, for sure.
A Sidiot?
Yeah,
Did you just make that up?
No.
he said that, not me.
Did you just make that up?
No.
Oh,
Who would I
that
be
is-
with you guys if I
know.
can make stuff up
If
like that?
you made that up, you could fucking make millions of dollars. I don't know how.
You get
That was
out
the
of
most
country.
telling thing he's ever said. I wouldn't be with you guys if I could
Yeah,
make that.
yeah,
He's out
yeah.
of here at the
Exposed.
first whiff of success.
The first
this guy's
successful
gone.
pun.
Yeah, he's out.
I thought it was interesting
Guy
how
John McAfee's us. He's just gone.
they've bred dogs
The first
to be
successful
friends
pun.
or whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we can't do it with any other animal. Or have we sort of? And also the idea of like taking orphans and just throwing them to be raised with animals, see if they like Tarzan it up.
Well, there have been cases of children being raised by animals.
And a connection, but eventually they just kill you.
And there have definitely been
I know when Joe was like, "That's never happened."
there have definitely been cases of like a mother lion
Yeah,
or
raising.
a tiger raising a cub lion. Like sometimes weird shit happens, man. And I'm not talking about Jungle Book. I'm like in real life, this shit happens.
But I'm asking you, should we be proactive in that, trying to create a closer relationship with animals?
Unfortunately, I think you would fucking lose a lot of animals in the process, you know?
You mean the children that are left, the babies that are left to fend for themselves?
Oh, I thought you were saying take an animal and put it with a different.
No, I was saying
You're taking babies.
every
Yeah,
year
no.
take 100,000
All
kids.
of those babies will be eaten.
Okay, so
And
that's
I
a
don't
bad
know
idea.
because I don't know if there's like that same human animal connection that there would be an animal connection. Like humans suck, you know what I mean? Maybe the animals just know that right away.
But it's like in this cartoon I saw, the eggs hatch and immediately they just know each other. The mom knows them, they know the mom.
Well,
And so if you were there just when the thing hatched, like, oh,
yeah,
I guess we're in this together,
well,
buddy.
it imprints on you. That happens.
I could see it maybe happening.
But
with
they have a
monkeys.
problem mating ostriches in captivity because the male ostriches find their captors more desirable than female ostriches. Isn't that interesting?
Weird.
They got like Stockholm syndrome.
That is super interesting.
I also thought it was interesting that he was like, people will be so quick to walk up to you and be like, "Oh, what's your dog's name? What breed is he?" And you're like, "I'm here. I'm right here.
I don't give a fuck about you. Like,
I know.
It happens though.
And it's creepy to just walk up to somebody and ask them their name.
For some
Like,
reason,
would you be okay with that, Matt, if some stranger just came up to you and like, "Hey, what's your name?"
I'm not gonna
I'd be
lie.
like, "Yo,
At this-
get out of
At
here."
this point in my life, I'd be assumed I'm being served papers or something, like 100%. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, "No, I am not Matt Floyd. Thank you for coming."
Yeah.
Sorry, that was all Edgy Shell's notes I was doing there.
I knew it. I knew he had fucked that up. I was like, they talked about
But
all this.
They
in
talked
the-
about
but
Succession.
We'll get
He
there.
just miraculously said the fanny packs are cool about Joe. Self-talk.
Are
was
fanny packs
garbage.
cool?
You don't know what you didn't know.
Wait, stop. You can't list off 3 notes.
I'm trying to catch up to where
I'm
we
the
are at.
opposite of Joe. If you rock a fanny pack across the chest,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If you rock a fanny pack
It's weird.
around the waist,
Yeah, it's weird.
unironically,
Unironically.
then yes,
It's
I find
odd.
it very odd.
You would wear a fanny pack in the front, Kamar?
Look at this guy. The
I mean,
question
you
answers
would.
itself.
If it made his outfit, he would. But like a normal day, you're going out, you have your little bag, your man sash.
No, for a festival, I think I could do it, especially if it was a cool fanny pack. Just because carrying a bunch of stuff is a hassle, man.
Cool, like
pockets.
what? Like a Joe Rogan fanny pack? Is that cool?
Like black leather, sort of looks like a blackjack. Maybe it has a little bit of lead in it, so it could be a weapon. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking of. No, like a nice light brown suede.
no.
Not too,
corduroy.
Not too flashy, but sort of
I'm
understated.
thinking like
you know what I
something
mean?
with some silk on it, maybe some lace.
No, silk. Don't be ridiculous. But a nice crushed sort of velvet or something.
Yeah, right away, I think just asshole.
When you see a fanny pack
Yeah,
around the waist.
Yeah, man.
When you see it across, do you
Yeah.
think asshole?
No, I don't. But it depends on the fanny pack too.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't love the little like Gucci ones that people wear. No offense to anybody who wants to wear one of those, but they
Because you guys saw the upgrade knapsack fanny pack I sort of bought, and I couldn't make that work.
I
Listen,
don't know
I have
what
a-
you're
I have
talking
a
about.
car- Carhartt-
There's one strap over.
I have a Carhartt purse that I wear.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You have a purse,
It's not a purse. You've seen it. That Carhartt
a-
thing, like, yeah.
but it goes here.
It's
Yeah,
like a money
it
belt.
does,
And
yes.
it's
It's like a
flat.
money belt.
It's not flat.
Because
It's like a-
Carhartt also makes one that's like a little purse. Is that the one?
That's the
you
one I have, yeah,
Oh
a
yeah,
little
you're
purse,
really
yeah.
you're really just leaning into this whole thing, right?
Well,
I don't,
Just
the thing is,
fucking-
for the most part, it just sits in the car,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, it's not like I don't go many places where I'm like, I'm not walking 40 miles with a,
No, I hear you. Like I saw that one, man. I thought this is for me. This makes sense. I'm gonna buy this. I bought one. I wore it once. I was like, this feels like a purse, and I went and got one that kind of.
I'm not gonna lie.
And I wear it on the back. I don't wear it on the front.
Simon, it's a lot like his scooter, where like the first couple times you're like, this is a purse. And then after a while, you're like, nah, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like the first time you're like, where are my sunglasses? I wish I do have them. That sort of thing. Like, oh, they're in here.
Yeah, no. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Oh, I know.
wear a
I know.
thing,
Listen,
jury's
I'm too
out.
old to care.
jury's out.
but
Jury's out.
fanny packs are out. Like, don't. You're not bringing something back that should have. Like that was a fad that should have died, and he just held on to
I
it.
think it was
like-
more that it was just blatant pandering on Zachary's part to
Yeah.
applaud the fan.
Do you think he was trying to get given a fanny pack? Is that what was going on?
I mean, the one thing I'll say in his defense is he was selling a book, but wasn't trying to sell it to the end.
What? He was selling it the whole way.
Yeah, I kind of agree with
Selling
Simon.
his philosophy the whole way. Listen,
I gotta agree
let's
with
talk
Simon.
about this guy for a little bit because first
Well,
of all,
that's
I
what
had
we're
no
doing.
fucking idea who he was.
He was Shazam.
Yeah, I haven't seen Shazam.
He's also in
so-
Marvelous Mrs. Maple, which Joe was like, that was great, but
He will not
actually
give
now
up.
says it sort of trailed off.
No, but
Lost his luster,
even-
sort of when you joined the show.
Joe just decided that that was like the best representation of comedy.
I don't hate Punchline, man. I just don't. I don't care.
I don't know
what he
which
says.
one Punchline is.
Sally Field and John Goodman and Tom Hanks.
The show there that was on maybe HBO with Santino in it. I thought that
Dave.
was not Dave.
Santino's have been in another show.
Yeah, he was in. He had like a lead role in. Shit, what is that
Will
show
you stop
called?
hitting the fucking. Yeah.
What is that show called?
Standing.
No, not Standing. Standing. What was Standing?
The stand-up comedian show with like Pete Holmes.
No, that's Crashing.
Oh, Crashing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, this was like a dramatic show.
That Andrew Santino was in.
Yeah, that they were all trying to get onto like Letterman or
Santino
whatever.
and Bobby Lee have a
Bad Friends, a podcast.
and Schultz was on it, and I
It
just
was
want.
so hilarious.
But Santino is like should be. whatever
Santino
Schultz
is
you know what I
so
mean?
funny. Yeah, he is
He's
so
going hard in
funny,
the paint,
man.
though.
But that podcast, that was like one of the best podcasts I've ever seen. Just because, I don't know, it was just really funny.
They
man.
did talk about Zachary Levi. He brought up that they've done no research into drugs, psilocybin, all this stuff, and that's why we're behind. Like he brought up that obvious point, and they also brought up later on because we were stopped doing it. There's not as much research into nuclear, and it's two examples of us. Well, the idea is we're in fear for our safety, so we don't do the psychedelics. But we do alcohol and tobacco. We don't do nuclear, but we use coal. Like we're such contradictions. And those are two areas that could probably change the world the most. And they've been under the guise of like our personal safety and fear of what could go wrong if everyone did psychedelics or did drugs, or what could go wrong if we went forward with nuclear. Isn't it weird?
Well, no, there's been 3 nuclear disasters.
Yeah, but there's been
no coal.
20 oil spills, 30,000 oil spills. Like,
Yeah, but they didn't end life on Earth. And I know you're going to say neither did the nuclear ones.
Exactly.
Well,
10 people died or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, drugs is different. Like, even with the war on drugs, the amount of people that are dying, there's no way as many people would die if drugs were legal than are dying now under the current system.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Can you think of any situations other than driving when your brain's on autopilot?
When you're drunk.
Yeah, the blackout, I guess. But video games, your brain is very engaged, right?
Yeah, you're never on autopilot.
You're not sort of like. I don't play video games, so I don't know.
I mean, again, though, the one example I'll give is like if you're playing a driving game, I do find that somewhere where I will tend to like zone out and potentially crash, just like because I'm like, oh fuck, I wasn't.
You zone out when you're driving, right, Simon?
Yeah, it happens to me. It's so weird. I know exactly what he was talking about.
Oh,
where
me
you're
too,
just
dude. I'll
Especially
come.
the same
You are
drive,
lost
like it's
in-
an hour and a half always, whatever, to Smith Falls or wherever.
But
What's
that's
even
time
weirder-
travel.
what's
what
even-
he was explaining.
What's
there.
even weirder though, it's like the Mothman prophecies. It's what's even weirder is when you just like come to and you know where you are, but you don't. Does that ever happen to you?
You know where you are, but you don't. Like you're on a highway somewhere.
Yeah, like I'll be on a road I've been on 100 times,
think about
but I
that.
just like I'm like, where the fuck am I? And
I think
it'll
about
take
that.
like
I think
it'll
about
take
that.
like 10 seconds. I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, okay. That happens to me all
no,
the time.
I don't think that happens.
Interesting.
To me. That sounds like early on dementia.
Oh, I thought you meant actually where
Long
the
line of
fuck
it in my
am I
family.
on a map?
I'm Dying Up Here is the name of the show.
Yes, I'm dying up here. Yeah.
Have you ever watched it?
No,
You should give it a try.
I'll take one of those, Simon. Please and thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Round of bulls for the
Round of
boys.
bulls for the boys.
We're a weird pile of ideas and experience. That's what Joe threw back at him. Tesla, I've said before, but it's weird that he's just not talked about, right? Like it's suspect that he isn't a historical Benjamin Franklin. Thank you, Albert Einstein, Dr. Oppenheimer. Like Tesla is just not mentioned. It's a weird omission in history of thinkers and innovation.
Yeah, it's almost like he was like canceled out for like being a pedophile, but he wasn't. He just
was
his
in love
whole
with his
thing
pigeon.
was he said, yeah, he was in love with this pigeon, and he said that he was getting his all of this information from somewhere else. He talked about aliens potentially, and
So you
like
guys
mainstream
realize why.
science doesn't like that, man. They don't like this idea of any sort of divine intervention.
And if he was just a kook, they couldn't care less. Or they just have to be afraid of any other ideas.
Well, it just made it super easy for them to dismiss him. Like, and any amazing idea like free energy that he might have been putting out there.
it's
hold on,
glaring.
hold on.
Glaring.
I have a tough time. There's nothing back then that would stop free energy. There's no, what conglomerate is there back then that would stop free energy?
What do you mean?
The Rockefeller,
Yeah, just everybody who knew big oil was
JP
coming.
Morgan. There's like 3 people that were running the planet back then.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just see. We always do this where like I don't understand. Like, perfect example: if you can turn water into energy, why would big oil not immediately just scoop up that idea and then sell it to everyone else and make the money? Like,
Yeah, that is a valid point.
when you have all the money in the world, right? I understand control, like the hemp thing. Okay, I get it. He didn't want hemp was like a cheaper whatever. I guess that's an example of someone who didn't do that, who probably could have. But it just seems like you're better off just buying up the competition. Like that's what Google does now, right? And Facebook. Instead of instead of being like, no, we're going to suppress this, they just go in and they say, no, we'll buy you for $4 billion.
Maybe back then it was just because now it's corporations, right? It's corporations doing what you're talking about.
Yes.
Back then, like Kamar said, it was individuals, guys who had
Yes,
egos,
it wasn't corporations.
and they didn't want to it wasn't about acquiring somebody else's thing. It was about their thing being the only thing. Why they did that, Matt, I don't know. It probably revolves around greed.
But again, hear me out. Like, okay, so you have a technology for free energy. You're going to sell that free energy that you're creating, right? Because you like, let's say you kill Tesla because you think he's a loony bin, right?
Yep.
You have access to all his stuff and you have this free energy. Why would you not patent it, harness it, sell it forever?
Because people want to, at some point, the people are going to be like, hey, you're not doing anything to make that energy. Like things become worth something because they're scarce or they're hard to get, or right.
No, but again, that's what a patent is for. If you have a patent on a technology, it doesn't matter if you're creating something out of nothing. The technology that creates something out of nothing is yours. You own it. You sell it forever. Like, dude, there's this guy that interviews people on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's free energy, right? Like, it just means.
How do they make money off it?
Well, they make
Again,
money
you
off it the
sell the
same way
energy.
you make money off hydro, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we're willing to pay those prices for hydro because we look at it and we say
That's the only way I
there's
can get
only
that. I
so
can
much
only
of
get
this
that.
resource, right?
Yeah, but again, why you're also going off of this, like there would be a big press release where they're like, we have free energy. They wouldn't tell you. They would again, if we're talking about them killing
well,
Nikola
Tesla told us. That's
okay, fine.
Right? Like,
but the point is like right now they could have free energy and we could still be paying an insane premium for it. You don't know.
Yeah, they could just be pretending it's oil.
well, I mean, yeah, I guess so.
But I don't know how the sheiks are still getting so rich.
Because they're probably still selling oil.
Because that's the thing is like they make $1 trillion. No, they make $1 trillion every single day that you
They're going.
alive.
They're going to sell oil until the oil is all gone, and then they'll switch to the free energy.
That too, again, like
But,
that's
but why would they not just stop on the oil? It costs a lot to do this. The free energy is so much
Like
easier.
both things can be true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Crush your competition, and then become your competition.
become your competition. Okay.
Well, just become that thing that was, the same as buying them up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's more like Marlboro is poised and ready for the second that cannabis becomes legalized in the United States. They already have all their patents on all their dispensal unit. Like they are ready the second,
But that's what I was saying.
that's their competition.
Yeah, but you see, this is what I'm saying is they, instead of being like, they spent years trying to keep weed illegal, but then they're ready. They're the first people that are ready once it's legal.
I'm agreeing with you only because they've already milked all the money out of nicotine. Nicotine we know is bad for you now. Like it's only a matter of time. Well, we see this with Juul, right? Like they almost lost it. And then why didn't they just buy Juul up? Why don't they have it? Like there's something else.
They
Anyway.
did though. Philip Morris bought Juul.
Yeah, they did.
32 billion.
Well, no, but exactly. That's why something even more was at foot is what I was getting at, right? Like those Juuls are really bad for you, obviously. And they're we went through this last week. They are getting well ahead of that.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, that's my stupid personal opinion anyways. Sorry, go ahead. Come on. I see you're ready.
Before a smartphone, the Swiss Army knife was the coolest thing, and it just got too big.
Dude, I remember when I got my first really cool Swiss Army knife.
The best, eh? You
It
felt
was
almost like
so
James Bond.
amazing. Yeah, dude, that thing was incredible.
And I was
It
thinking,
had tweezers on it. It had a toothpick. Like those were your favorite parts.
then it
You
had a
used
pen,
it like for the first week and
Never.
then never, ever. Yeah.
but then it got so ridiculously wide. That
It
was
had
just ridiculous.
scissors that were impossible to cut. Have you ever seen those ones in this? Well, they actually have like whatever, 100 piece one. You
Well, the
can buy,
Leathermen just put it out of business.
and they're like this fucking fat. You got to carry it around in a backpack.
But I always thought about the knife. They don't even have an army. What do they need a knife for? That's why it cuts cheese and not people's throats.
The Swiss Army. Terrible.
I will say the Swiss Army released this really cool thing where it was like a business card. Like it was like the thickness of like 2 credit cards. You could just put it in your wallet. And it had a bunch of cool shit. That was one cool thing.
We had that though, like not a Swiss Army one, but it was a 20 tool thing that slips in your wallet.
Someone has the patent on that for sure. Those
I'm surprised Swiss Army doesn't have a phone case.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa,
Matt,
whoa!
What the fuck? No, you can't do anything for it. They're not going to buy his idea. They're just going to do it.
Okay, well there you go. You're welcome. Send us
Shut it down! Shut the thing off!
No, but
send us 3 of them.
seriously, hold on a second.
They must Google it.
How do they not? No, but just in general, forget Swiss Army knife for a second. How do phone cases not have
A gang of
built-in
like, shit just sliding
accessories
out
and
of them.
stuff? We're not going to do it.
I've just let the ideas flow. Keep talking.
You're
but
right.
just for-
You're right, Simon. Like, dude, even think about even at a base level, like a nail file.
Tweezers.
Yeah.
A
You fuck
toothpick.
off.
Stop fucking clapping.
These are a lot of edits. About
Yeah,
to
you
go-
guys are
I'm gonna go
ruining
back
the show
and do-
the
A
last 2 weeks.
toothpick? Matt, oh my God. Clap right now.
I swear to fucking God.
You have one that's, you know, I'm not even going to say that. That's too good an idea.
One for sure that's like,
We're not going to make it.
I am going to make this.
we're going to be moderately poor.
We're already moderately poor.
Prediction, this for time capsule purposes. 10 years from now, Earth, our lives, everything, better or worse?
Far worse.
Pessimist.
Really, eh? You say far worse. Because you're the
Dude,
guy who
we-
just loves how things are going.
Really?
Well, every time
How
we
so?
every time we
Fucking asshole.
have this whole internet conversation, you like defend it vehemently.
The internet, I don't think the internet is like, listen, first of all, we're about to hit the worst recession potentially ever in the history of man. Since we created an economy, we might be in the worst. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add when you're done.
We'll just add it.
Well, that means that by 10 years you'll be out of that and things will be looking real good.
What I was thinking is in 2008, it
hope.
was the craziest. It's worse than the Depression that we look back to as like this worst thing that happened. Can you say it actually affected you? The financial meltdown, like Madoff went under, all the banks realized, all like
Oh, 2008, you mean?
it was crazy. It cannot be underplayed on how bad it was. How it didn't affect me.
Come on.
I knew about it, complained about it, but
Just as an example, I went and looked at my meager portfolio the other day. It has affected me a great deal.
it has affected your portfolio.
I have
No,
lost.
he's saying this one has affected him.
But so in
Now again,
Because
3
you had a
years,
lot
but
in
hear me out.
crypto winter could have turned into the opposite of whatever it is right now, and things could be better. So 10 years from now, things would be better.
well, considering that we bought crypto at the tippity top,
Yeah,
it would really have to turn around
that
for us.
definitely
To,
was
it would-
oversight.
It would really
seemed like a good time to get in. It's not financial advice.
it would really have to turn around for us to become rich. But
It's supposed to.
come on, I'm with you. Maybe 10 years, but again, the economy isn't necessarily it. Like I just think we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, start growing food. Like
I don't think you're I don't
that
think that's
raspary
gonna-
bush is worth a lot more now than it
Yeah,
was
it's true.
yesterday.
It just
Today's
tripled the
price is
value of my
not
house.
Today's price.
No, I honestly like. I think definitely the next 5 years are going to be incredibly trying. There's going to be an election in the States. There could be a war. I mean, the next 5 years are going to be ugly as fuck. After that, who knows? I mean,
I think things are going to be better. I don't have to say why, but I think.
the problem is our generation hasn't experienced like a real war, and war is what ends up. There's like a real calm after a war because everyone tends to be more empathetic, caring, loving.
well, the next war,
Will be the end.
yeah,
I know.
there is
yes.
no
Oh, I'm well
after,
aware.
so
I'm well aware.
That's
Of that.
why maybe we'll never see that, or maybe we will and then never.
I'm not
see it
sitting here
again,
saying I
you know?
hope there's war. I'm just saying that, like, if you look historically, the greatest times of peace were after like a massive conflict. So we don't.
Yeah, I mean, I always find it weird when people compare, like, you know, the Roman Empire to us now or something, you know.
I'm not even talking about the Roman Empire, even World War II.
No. I'm just saying when they're like, you know, empires come and go and they rise and they fall. And
Yeah, I mean that's true.
But
people who are
it's sort of-
inside those empires never look outside and are like, well, we're, you know, our time is limited and our
Yeah.
but you always just ride it out. And are we in that right now?
Keep it-
I don't think so. We've come so much further, but who knows, man?
Yeah, but you also don't like. They didn't have the historical data that we have now. Like now, you can actually look back and go, "Shit, we might really be like in the throes of."
Yeah, I mean, that should be it, Matt. Exactly. You nailed it on the head. And yet humans by nature
What's meant to
always
be is
repeat
meant to be.
the same things over
I'm
and
not
over
saying we
again.
could stop it. I'm just saying we could at least now say, given the historical data, we could say we're probably like looking at the fall of an empire. And again, the fall of an empire now might be much different than it was back then, right? Like, might not.
Still, all the falls of the empires are sort of sparse with detail of what happened. It just and then they came up
I wonder why that is.
because they're written by the winners.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
So just learn to speak Russian
just
and
ain't a lot
Chinese,
of
and you're going to be
books
all right.
written by the losers.
He considered killing himself a lot, or more than once. That's a lot.
I like how he rated it. If killing yourself was a scale 1 to 10, I was like an 8.75.
I feel that might be right out of the pages of his book that his ghostwriter wrote. Did you guys know that when you look out at corn, each stalk is one cob?
Yeah.
What did you think it was?
No, I know that.
Thought it was like he thought it was like a pea pod where you just like squeezed
They
it.
were talking about eating meat. He was kissing up to Joe about, pro meat diet, and that corn especially is like useless. That's a conspiracy in itself.
Well, corn isn't useless. They started the monocrop was because of sugar, high fructose corn syrup.
Well, yeah, and which is very bad for us. It's like just another one of these things that we put a lot of effort into harming ourselves.
Corn is crazy too, man. Like we've been walking our dogs at the farm. Ottawa, for everybody out there, has something they call the experimental farm. It's in the middle of the city, and they just grow fucking agriculture.
We have what's called the green belt here. It's a large swath of green
Thank
space.
God for that. Because
anyways, we were out there 2 weeks ago. Empty fields. Right now, the corn is over your head. 2 weeks, man.
Steroids.
It is so fucking fast.
and
It's
no one
insane.
needs that corn.
And corn. Sorry, go ahead.
It's also it's like one of the few crops that's unregulated. As in, like in the States, most crops. I'm fairly certain, but I'm a moron. I'm fairly certain there's like X amount that everyone can grow. Like it's all very heavily regulated, so that because back in the day, people used to just grow the shit out of stuff and it would crush the market, right? So like the guy down the street who has a small cornfield, if a guy 4 things over is growing nothing but fucking corn, then it can kill him because he can go and sell it. Either way, I'm an idiot, but I'm pretty sure corn is the only one where you can just ad nauseum grow like, just go fucking nuts.
I mean, corn is definitely. I didn't realize that, by the way. But
I'm probably wrong.
I thought it was regulated because it's a commodity that's traded and shit.
It's regulated in that sense, but what I meant is I don't think there's a cap on like
Who can grow it? I didn't
you can
think
just
that
go
was
fucking
ever
ham.
the case. I thought that was the whole idea. But maybe back in the day, you're right. They
You
had
need a
to
lot
keep
of
people
land
in
to
check.
grow a little amount of corn.
But we were
That's all
talking.
I'm saying.
We when at the farm with this tall corn, my wife and I were talking about like how scary corn is. It's a very scary plant because you can't see through the corn, what's living in the corn. All the movies about corn, children of the corn. And then we started talking about all the
we played
scary-
word association in the
this-
field.
comedy, scary movies that have corn in them, and there's quite a few.
Yes, agreed. I went into a cornfield though. I wasn't afraid. I went across
Good
the
for
street
you.
of my house,
You have one across the street from your
and I
house.
made a secret.
Well,
fort.
The
that's-
experimental
that's
farm is
where we
across the
were.
street from his house.
So wait,
yes.
whoa, hold on a second. You just go to the experimental farm and make like a little house in the cornfield?
I did in October.
You see, I am scared now. We were just walking there. I could have Kamar in there just jerking off in the cornfield.
Kamar wants to
right.
make sure he touches every corn so that anyone in Ottawa, if he sees someone eating corn, he goes, I touched that. Just,
No, he jerks off on it. He's hoping that he spreads
a lot
his
of work.
seed.
I was.
lot of
I
work.
was
He's
in
got
that,
a lot of
I was
cum.
in that field playing bocce ball, and there was no corn.
I love
I want to
bocce.
go check that out. That's
Love
interesting.
bocce. You know what the problem with bocce
You are
is?
not supposed to walk in those fields, just by the by.
I live there.
No.
and I'm a taxpayer.
They're experiments,
Yeah.
and you're not supposed to be walking
and
in
I'm
the
a
crops.
citizen. I'm overlooking their work.
Kamar's like, I've paid for the work. I'm
I'm a director of the
Yeah,
project.
and you're welcome to walk on the grassy paths. You're not supposed to be in the fields like that.
Maybe I'm trying to save the system, man.
I don't even know.
What are you trying to do?
Change the system.
Change
Send the system.
system.
One cob at a time.
One cummy cob at a time.
This is the fucking corn cob police. Let's go. Move on.
Do you agree with Zachary Levi that the flavor profile of crab is superior to lobster?
I do agree with
that
that.
came out of his mouth, and I was like, if
Simon just said he agreed with it.
Whoa, you like lobster?
I like lobster.
I
I like anything.
fucking hate
I prefer
lobster.
crab too, I guess. But
Crab is way better than lobster.
I don't like either of them.
never described him as profile. Are you?
I do not
Allergic?
eat.
Oh,
No.
I see. You didn't like the way he phrased it.
He's not a fucking fishmonger.
It's a good question though. Like, what is better. the
He's also
crab or
he's
the
tried
lobster.
Wagyu, but sometimes it just doesn't hit the same. Like
That was the worst humble
it was
brag
all
ever.
the-
Dude, go
this-
fuck
this-
yourself.
There's a litany of humble brags coming out of him at this point.
But that was the worst.
was
I
just-
mean, when you have enough Wagyu, sometimes it just, it's too buttery. Dude,
I cooked my tenderloin and it was too good.
fuck
like
you,
I'm really
asshole.
pissed off at how good that meat was.
What beer are you drinking? Oh yeah, it was the Ryan Holiday debate, and he started referencing way too many shows, and
So many
Also, am
things
I
just happened there. What?
am I wrong? When he asks Joe, do you drink beer? And Joe goes, yeah. And he goes, what kind of beer do you drink? And Joe goes, everything. Do you automatically in your head go, well, you don't really drink beer? Because I don't drink beer, but I look at someone like, if you're a real beer drinker, you usually have like a beer, right?
I mean, you have a bit, but like I drink beer. I don't hate beer.
But you're not a beer drinker. I'm
you're
sorry.
not a beer drinker.
Thank you. You drink beer. I get it.
You
That's
haven't
fine.
had a beer in a year, I bet.
Don't tell me when I've had a beer.
That's a yes. You were right.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it as an insult.
You're a
I
rye
just-
guy.
Yeah, I am a rye guy.
Ryan Ginger.
Ryan Coke, Ryan Ginger,
Ryan Ginger was my
and I'm a
screen name
gin
for a
and
while.
tonic guy as
The
well.
mix doesn't matter; it's just the sauce.
Hendrix,
Whoa.
Fentimans.
Okay, and,
and
you're
cucumber.
you're eating crab on a boat.
Fuck yeah, man.
Living the good life.
But not lobster. I don't like me no lobster.
I don't like me no lobster.
You would refuse lobster if someone took you for lobster dinner. You
I-
don't like paying for lobster.
I could eat like one claw, maybe. I couldn't eat a whole lobster. I would puke.
Lobster
Are you
roll
supposed to eat the
disgusting.
tail?
No,
the
don't like
tail?
them.
What about the tail? It's
I don't
not
like
what you're
any of
supposed
that. I like the claws. I like
And
pulling
and,
it out of
and the butter.
claws. Yeah,
You cannot eat lobster
we
without
went
the butter.
to PEI when I was young, and I think I told you guys we stayed at that White Sands hotel there. That was the hotel in Anna Green
to eat.
Gables.
Gables, yeah.
And their buffet, which they had every day, we were there for 2 weeks, was prime rib and lobster. And
Got sick of it up both.
well, no, I would only eat the claws. This is what I'm saying. I was like a claw guy.
That's the funny thing about PEI is like no matter where you are on the island, you're probably no more than a 45-minute drive from fresh seafood.
Oh yeah, I mean
If you like seafood.
everything's fresh. Even in the middle, it's fresh. It's
That's
just
my
so
point, though.
close,
Is that's
yeah.
what I said. You're a 45-minute drive. It's not. There's no.
Escaping.
Yeah.
Escape.
Oh, we spent
There's
so
no
much time in
escape.
PEI, and no, I don't eat anything that swims.
Was the dirt particularly red
Yes, very red. A lot of jellyfish too. Holy fuck.
in the water?
Yeah, tons
Obviously.
of. Like, we were staying by the ocean, and there's so many fucking jellyfish.
A lot of amusement parks. I think per capita,
Sandspit, baby.
per capita, it must be the most amusement
It's
parks.
probably yeah.
On the
They-
East Coast.
No, in PEI specifically.
in PEI.
I think there's like 18 go-kart tracks
Oh,
on the
that's
island.
not an amusement park. I need a roller coaster.
No, I meant they're tiny. They're little dirt amusement parks
yeah.
with bumper boats and
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
You're talking
Boats.
about Sandspit, obviously.
Bumper boats, Kamar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's out of that the craziest.
Yes, yeah, that's you know
Water
what?
park
I
ever.
rewatched that the other day.
Adventureland,
No, it's Action
Action Park,
But
That's
what
it.
is it called? It's not called. It's called
Class Action Park.
Class Action Park. Yeah,
The documentary.
that place looks so fun.
Yeah.
Like so fun.
You'd have to be a moron to get on that loop, though.
No, a lot of things you'd have to be a moron to do, but some of them just.
But I feel like back then, if you went there and you hurt yourself, you'd be like, I should have. It's my fault.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You wouldn't put the liability on the place because you felt like
nobody did that back
supposed
then.
to
There
happen.
was no suing.
And now it's just like
Now it's all suing.
we wouldn't be open a week. It reminded me, someone died at X right before it ended. That was, for people who listen.
Yeah, the
Really?
guy did the bungee thing.
The thing
shot up
remember
and
shot up and
Yeah.
and
came
it just
right down.
went up to space.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
no,
never
no,
was never
no.
seen
Like
again.
no, I'm saying though it just broke and
He went up high
flying
and came
in
down
the air.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and came down hard. Oh,
I think one of them broke, so he shot up and was still stuck to one.
And it might have been, yeah, she got shot up and it pulled him
that
back
it did
down.
for sure.
I mean, when you actually take a step back and think about those type of amusement parks and the people who are putting
They're
up
run by
those
gypsies.
rides, like
Carney.
the fact that there aren't many more people getting splattered on the cement every summer is a miracle.
Yeah.
Would you guys bungee cord jump?
Never.
yes,
You would?
yeah,
Eh,
for
split
sure.
decision.
Really?
I'm
You skydive?
Yeah.
Wow, I would never do that.
The only problem with the skydiving is that you got to tandem your first like bunch of jumps, which is
If you want to really fly through the air.
On your own, yeah.
yeah, and like I'd want to do it on my own. So I guess, but yes, the answer is yes for sure.
TIL, you know that 1 in 60 people who squirrel suit die. That's literally your odds when you decide to take that as a hobby. 1 in every 60 times you go, you're probably gonna die.
Think about how far you are
Hey,
from getting
right? That's how that math works.
I will say this though. I'm fairly certain there's a lot of people that just jump out of a plane with a squirrel suit and don't proximity fly. Does that make sense?
Like close to things, you mean?
Yes.
I think it's more than that, though, Matt. I think there are all sorts of things that are dangerous about it. Even when you're out in the open, I think like getting yourself back to a speed that makes sense is easier said than done, you know? I could be wrong.
You just pull the chute.
They don't have no
Think about how far you are from
They
ever
don't have
possibly.
chutes.
Yeah, they do.
So how are they living?
Think
I
about
thought they got back onto a plane.
no, that's like
That's
what,
happened
2
one
guys
time.
did that
Just-
once.
I'm
Nice, you
just
saw that.
joking.
Wasn't that insane?
It is.
Yeah,
insane.
that was crazy. I saw that
One
too.
of the wildest.
But
things
when
ever.
they go through like the fucking, you know, there's
door.
that one shot they always do where it's a rock formation
yeah.
that's a circle and
Yeah,
they go
it's-
through the.
it's only a
and you're
couple
just
meters.
like, you guys are such fucking assholes.
But think about how far away you are from possibly getting in a wingsuit.
Oh,
Because you have to like 10 years of mountain climbing just to learn.
I would never
guess
get
not
in
anymore.
a wingsuit.
But no,
You'd be
never,
like,
ever,
Simon,
ever.
you need to take this wingsuit to survive the apocalypse, and I would just be like, yeah, I'm done.
I'm gonna choke on it.
I look at
I eating
wingsuit
this?
flying the exact same way I look at like Alex Handhold's free climbing. You're doing a thing where you know eventually, and I don't mean like a long time from now, soon within your hobby you're gonna die.
It's almost like autoerotic asphyxiation.
yeah, it's something like you have a death wish.
Handhold is way worse. At least with the wingsuit, there's like a serious like adrenaline rush. Like I guess,
He must be
but I'm saying like you know what I mean. You're going speeds that you wouldn't normally go. You're ripping by a
Handhold must be jizzing the whole time he's going
just
up there.
dripping.
It's just one giant orgasm from the first time he puts his hand in a crack.
That's a tough way to climb. Ah.
Maybe it helps. Maybe that's why he's so great. He's
His
sticking
dick
his
is anchored
dick
in the
into
wall.
thing.
Yeah, that
You
makes
thought he
sense.
didn't have a
Yeah.
rope?
Instead of doing
Think
that
again.
Instead of doing that leg thing where they lock their leg in, it's just his dick in the wall.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Just hanging there like this.
You're like, how is he doing that?
Yeah, look at him go.
Kids do the darndest things.
Imagine he had a hand on the end of his dick. Like that's what made him special.
You know what the worst is
Tiny
when we
little
have these
hand.
little things and the comedian says nothing, he just sits back judging and then throws in his let's move on 2 cents. Kids say the darndest things. You're a prick.
No,
Well, I always thought it was interesting that the one guy who's a comedian just doesn't understand comedy at all.
no. I was thinking while you guys were talking, I was thinking, what if like like the Beatles movie yesterday? What if there are no Beatles?
Yeah.
What if no one climbed rocks and just the first guy did
Great.
it? Like, would it be on the news? Like he's climbing another rock, and we'd be
It would, yeah, it would be
amazed by it.
I don't know. I think like nobody really cares now.
No,
and
we
nobody
must.
cared
It
then,
inspires
and
the world. These things of wingsuiting, whatever. I'm just thinking more than that one person having a death wish. It's just sort of like
inspires somebody else to do something crazier. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it has. That's what I was just saying. Does it serve a purpose, or
Well,
are they just selfishly?
They
doing
get
these
up the
things?
mountain. I mean, that's
yeah.
the purpose, I guess.
Hamhold's next thing is I'm climbing it without using my hands.
Yeah, just with my dick.
No, feet. Okay, well, we're back to the dick thing.
Well, I'm convinced now that he has a dick with a little hand on the
I
end
bet
of
it started with everyone thinking the world was flat, and they want to get every mountain they thought was the edge, and they want to see what was at the edge. And then, what? There's more. What the hell? And now we have mountain climbing.
Like everybody was on like a kamikaze mission to just
I gotta know.
Off the
I gotta
end
know
of
what's
the
on the other
world.
side of that wall.
preparing for death every time you climb that wall. Well, they are. I
gotta
mean,
know.
It is kind
And
of
they
the
risk
same.
their life. They get to the top and said, another 1,000 walls? What
Yeah.
the hell?
And then they just blow their brains out
Or jump.
or jump. That would be
Or jump.
easier, I guess. Then
Just fall down the mountain you just climbed up.
it's a lot of work, eh? Bringing the gun up with you on your free climb to then blow yourself
Dead
up
weight.
at the top.
Dead weight.
Yeah.
It's a little more dramatic, I think. You know that the TIL, the highest free fall in the world, is in Canada.
Oh, I
Like
thought- I thought-
vertical free fall.
I thought,
What do you mean vertical?
rock.
Cliff face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it Big Chief?
It is big. This fucking guy, man.
No.
I've been there. Why
He
is
is
he, why
less
is he
stupid
TILing
than I
us?
thought
What does
he
that
is.
mean?
It's
feel
today I
real.
learned. He's been
Oh
on
my
Reddit a lot this
God,
week, clearly.
Jesus Christ, you said that so many times. I'm just like, I'm out of the loop.
Oh
Simon's-
my god!
Simon
I
passed
knew
me.
an acronym that Kamar
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
Wow, mark this down.
Today I learned. I know you guys have. Oh no,
I don't know. It wasn't right. I know. There was no editing involved, but just a timestamp, you know?
he kissed his
Kamar
ass
was
about
right.
Marcus Aurelius and all that stuff. And then the douchiest thing he said is, "You are not the voice inside your mind. You are the one listening to it."
I thought that was amazing.
I didn't read the book,
It
but I know the
wasn't
quote.
his
That was
quote.
no, but just say it. Like he said, I haven't read the book, but I know the quote's in it. Is that useless?
No, I don't think so. That quote is great, man.
Well, that helps reconcile.
You are
the
not
thought
the voice in
you
your
are not-
head. You are
not
the
your-
one
you are not
listening
your
to it.
ideas.
I think that's so stupid.
Clearly, but you guys.
I think that tells you a lot about one's outlook. You know what I mean? The way you look at that quote tells you everything you need
You
to
think
know.
it's amazing. You think it's stupid. It's right down the middle.
Yeah, I'm just here for the ride, listening to this fucking. Shut the fuck up.
Well,
I don't think
consciousness.
that's
It's
what it
consciousness. It's
means, but
consciousness.
okay, I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, you can look at it as your friend or your enemy. Your mind. Oh, people say I got to get my mind off of stuff. Like, can't it just do that? Figure that out itself because it's the mind.
No, isn't that what Buddhism is about? Or meditation? Turning it all off?
Clearing your mind. Yeah,
You
well,
are not
exactly.
the shitty ideas that reside in your brain that make you
hold on.
crazy.
Until you
you
act
are
on it.
Hold on.
simply the piece of dumb listening to it.
I'm playing something back in my head here. 6 months ago, were you not like a meditation yogi?
I still strive to be.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I still strive to be.
Because for a week, it was like that was like
Well,
it.
he still does talk about how everything is inflammation
and love.
Yeah.
and love
Okay.
can beat the inflammation. It's true. You know what? He has been saying that. You're very much like this guy.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
When's your
I
book
hope
come
I
out?
don't-
A
I hope I don't
phony.
sound like
a
him.
phony.
Oh
yeah.
no, that's too much.
No, but
Kamar,
Kamar
buy
said,
my new book. It's $100. It's called Inflammation and Love.
This guy was somewhat successful, so we are not the same.
the only thing that can beat inflammation is love. That's it, Kamar.
Yeah.
You are not the voices in your head.
Yeah.
You are simply the one listening to them.
It's the only thing. Neither of you guys have seen Shazam.
No.
It doesn't matter. We're doing it because that's his movie.
I have seen Shazam,
Saved his life.
though.
A
I
2 out of
lied
1 isn't
before.
bad.
I've seen it.
So I have to just
Oh,
fucking,
you haven't seen it?
No.
Really? Oh, wow.
Swing
you don't
it,
watch
man.
superhero movies,
Feel.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head, find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This is one of the first times that we've had the star of said movie on the podcast at the same time. Usually it's discussing another movie. Sorry about all the plot spoilers. Last movie game, we'll try not to do this week.
Who was the supporting characters in this, Kamar?
I'm not even writing the shit down because this is in protest.
Starring Zachary Levi.
Because I haven't seen this fucking movie.
Yeah, but the actor was on and they talked about it and it changed his life. And it's the greatest thing ever. I thought he had a breakdown after Shazam. It was like the guy got Shazam, thought he was fucking Superman, went to open a studio, and then his life fell apart. But no, his life fell apart. Then he got Shazam, and it's sort of weird. Like, oh, they just want you to be the criminal number 2. Well, actually, they want next. Actually, they think you're the lead. That's a weird process how you audition up. But
I can't
good on 'em.
remember what year did it come out in K?
Zachary Levi, Mark Strong, nice try. Asher Angel, Jack Dillon, Grazer, and Demijo Husson. Directed by
So-
David F. Sandberg.
Matt hasn't seen this movie, so
So he's
I
in
don't even
protest?
think we should be doing it.
I'm going to say it came. Do you want to write yours down?
Well, yeah, I mean, but you see,
It's in protest.
He's not
it's
even
all,
writing
it's,
it down.
It's all right.
Doesn't matter. I'm just going to say a year.
It's all right.
All right, go ahead.
It's all right.
Well, no, you got to write yours down before I say
what are
my
we
year.
doing here?
Fuck it. What is this guy new?
You listen to the guy talk for 2.5 hours. It's like you saw the movie.
yeah.
what we'll
Oh,
say.
that's pretty much, yeah. It seemed like the movie sucked.
Ready.
2016.
2019.
Whoa, Simon's in the neighborhood. We got 2019.
There we
Boom.
go, baby.
He did some research. I knew this.
I've seen
I
the
knew this.
movie.
That's
That
right.
helps.
I
It
remember
really
the year I
helps.
saw
It
it.
really
You
helps.
notice what he said before? I don't want to do this one because Matt hasn't seen it.
Well, he hasn't.
Also, I looked it up and I'm ready to go. Wow, we're going for a Sweep here. Came out in 2019 at the Chinese Theater. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Man's Chinese Theater?
Well, I've been outside.
That seems like a historic spot, but I think that place is very overrun with homelessness now.
I don't think it is because that's a fucking heavy tourist area.
It is, okay.
The strip is like, yeah, there's a lot. I don't know. I don't think it's that area. I mean, listen, it's bad, but we've even heard recently they're cleaning up. Like Skid Row is really bad. Venice Beach is really bad. I assume most of LA is not great. Like downtown is probably a nightmare.
Imagine moves like I was once in an apartment and we had cockroaches, so we got fumigated, and then our neighbor got cockroaches, and they just
of course
moved,
they go
so
somewhere.
They probably just are huddling around. Okay, Simon's ready to go.
So
I'm gonna say it cost. I don't know. I'm gonna say it cost $27 million to make, and I'm gonna say it made $17 million.
what?
That's all. That's all just protests. He's throwing.
It's
the
not
towel.
protest. I think it lost money.
17 million.
Yeah.
But you heard what year it came out.
So
Yeah.
my problem is, I know this movie was a flop, but I don't know what that means at the box office.
There. So you're agreeing with me. I
I
just said
think
it was
it
a flop.
cost 49 million to make, and it made 227.
Simon, we got a real opportunity here. It cost $100 million to make,
Holy fucking
and it made $366 million.
Well, it wasn't so far. Well, I wasn't close.
It wasn't a
either.
flop at all.
But it wasn't a
It wasn't,
much
like,
did
it
we
wasn't a
blockbuster.
superhero
Okay,
blockbuster.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's fucking Shazam.
But if you're in a movie, that makes $300 million. Like he's walking on water. It was interesting that when they finished off there. Oh, sorry, that's the movie game. Tune in next week.
You should do another movie game at some point. By the way,
there's one.
just
There's
to-
one in Shaw's we've all seen, and I don't think he said it right, but maybe he did. I don't know. Me and Simon both have the same thing. We got there sort of different ways on this guy. You're indifferent to nice guys.
I think this guy's a nice guy. This
Yep.
this episode fucking sucked.
It irritated me, and I was wondering why it irritated me, and we went through it.
Because it was just all
on
of
Friday
Joe
when
Rogan.
you guys met up. Is that?
No, I gave you a big spiel at the beginning of this episode how this guy was
All
a
right, take it
gigantic
down a peg.
phony.
I just didn't enjoy the episode. He was too big a fan of the show, I think, to.
I thought it all fell off when Joe let him get away with the chiropractor doctor that helped heal him and stuff, and the auras. Sol wrote in that Joe pushed back, but he had to push back, or else he'd be just like he was super polite as far as pushing back.
Oh, he was so polite. He was so polite. Why? Shit, I was going to ask you a question. I forget now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Rate it.
1.5.
I give it a 2, but there's nothing came to the table. There's no.
And I give it a 1.5. And that is being super generous. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. What's your problem with somebody being a fan? Like that's
I don't have a problem with them being I don't have a problem with anyone being a fan. A lot of people listen. A lot of people have heard it all.
Just don't quote what was going on.
Well, I just
the
like
show.
don't come on acting like
You're sort of
you have
familiar with it.
Don't know. Well, it's not even you're familiar. Don't come on acting like, oh, I have all. Look at this. We have all the same interests. Like, well, you kind of listen to the show, so you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. I'm with you.
And it's unfortunate. And if we ever were cursed to get on there, we'd probably be.
I
the
also
same thing.
we didn't mention this in closing. I find it funny that Joe like constantly brings up people that live in Austin. Like he's done this weird thing. It's like, dude, you've been there for 2 years, and you left a place that literally had everyone as far as famous people. But he's constantly like, that guy lives here. You know who lives? They live here now.
That's sort of city love, like weird high school pride.
I didn't have
That
that.
person went to my school or whatever, and there is no association whatsoever.
I know you guys
I
had
can
that.
see that. Well, case in point, that's what happened this week.
I'm surprised you don't have a Glebe tattoo.
Who says I don't? I don't.
It's on my dick.
It is my dick.
All right, that's it. We're done. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna pay a bill, and we'll be right back.